I'm good. How are you?
Good. So we'll go ahead here and get started.
All right.
Your third studio album, Neon, will be released on July 12th. What can fans expect from Neon that sets it apart from your first two albums?
Different songs. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I've gotten that question a couple times today, and I've wanted to say that. I'm sorry. You had to be the guinea pig. No, I'm really really excited about this record for a lot of reasons. Actually, this is uh, the most excitement I've ever had for a first single off of it. We've already sold 375,000 singles on tomorrow, and it's only 15 weeks old. So we've got that. We've got the fact that going into this record, it's been 3 years since I've gotten to put out new music for people to go get. So I think, and at least from what people have told me at shows and what people have asked me, is everybody's just as excited about it as I am, and that anticipation is building. And I think I pushed myself in a lot of ways on this record. Having the 3 years to work on songwriting, I think my songwriting's grown. I think that I pushed myself vocally on this record, and I think you can tell that on Tomorrow, just as well as you can on a couple other tracks on the record. It's definitely the hardest album I've had to sing so far, and I love that. I love being able to push myself as a songwriter, as a singer, and really kind of give the fans something they haven't heard from me yet.
Where did a lot of your inspiration come from when you were making this album?
Uh, a lot of it, whether just from personal experience or um, even a lot of the songwriting, I guess, that I did for inspiration. Sometimes that comes from something personal in your life. You look at a song like um, "Old Love Feels New" is obviously a song about that I didn't even write about my grandparents, but it mirrors their relationship very, very well. And I think that song is kind of all about true love. And I'm a lucky person in that my mom and my dad show me that all the time. I mean, my dad's still the guy that sends my mom flowers at work randomly for no reason. So it's cool for me to be able to say that I think a lot of things in my life like that have influenced my writing. And then some of the stuff is, obviously we tell a story. You look at She's Got This Thing About Her, and that's a straight ahead love song that, just the imagery in that, we worked really hard to kind of find some stuff that everybody doesn't say in every song. Saying that like the magic in your favorite song you just can't put your finger on, and like a hymn in a cathedral hall. And she's got this thing about her. It's just basically saying that the way that you feel about that person is the way you feel anytime you see something that you think is absolutely beautiful or just kind of breathtaking.
I'm glad that you actually brought up that song because that was one of the songs that stood out to me on the album, which the whole album, by the way, is absolutely amazing.
Thank
But
you.
that song in particular, it just had such a beautiful arrangement, and coupled with your strong vocals, it just really, that was a standout track when I first took a listen to it.
It's really different. That's one of the songs on here. I think there's two basic types of songs on this album. There's some stuff that probably could have gone on the previous record, and you can kind of see it as like a bridge between this album and the last album. And then there's some stuff that's very different for this record. Even so far as like the song "You" that's on this album, I think is it's kind of like an R&B arrangement with country instruments. So I mean, there's a lot of leeway that I took on some of these songs on making stuff different and making sure that it's something people are excited to listen to, and that it's also familiar too.
Now, if you had to pick a favorite track on Neon, what would you pick?
I guess right now it probably have to be Tomorrow, and the only reason I say that is because from the get go, the minute I wrote that, I just thought that song was something very very special, something different, and knew that had to be our first single. So I've always felt really strongly about that song.
Okay. Now, you co-wrote 7 out of the 10 songs on this new album. Is songwriting equally important to you as performing?
I think it's different, and the reason that I say that is I love both things, and I think that I keep them separate. Obviously, they work together, because if I write a song that is perfect for my album or I think will work for me, then I'm like, well, there you go. Obviously, this will work here. But sometimes there's stuff that I write that I might not really work for me, or might be for a female artist, or might be any of that stuff, and that's a different side to songwriting. So I think that it works in tandem, but they can also be separate.
Okay. What made you choose the song Neon as the album title?
The thing that made me choose Neon as the album title really is just that, to me, that kind of makes you think about a lot of the stuff that really goes back to country. And that song is so cool in the way that it has imagery and what it talks about in the different cities it lists, and how it kind of brings color into uh, bringing up what the chorus is going to be. And I just really think that as a songwriter and as a singer, I love that song, and that's one of those that I wish I had written. So I was really happy to have it on the album, and to be able to name the album Neon after it.
Okay. Now, you seem to be on a trend with number one singles, as your last three have all made their way to number one, and Tomorrow is consistently climbing the charts. Does that add extra pressure to you when thinking in terms of choosing your next single?
As far as in choosing Tomorrow, or
No, like future singles.
well, I mean, I don't know. Tomorrow hadn't gotten there yet, so it's,
Well on its way.
I'm still kind of waiting on that one. But I don't know. I mean, even when knowing that we were going into a new album, I think that that string of number ones is great, and trust me, I would love to continue it. But as long as I'm continually putting out stuff that's going to make an impact, that's going to make people want to go buy the record, that's going to make people say, "Man, that's a great song." That's really what I'm about. Some of that stuff is kind of out of your control at some point as an artist, and you love being able to have. I will never be upset to have another number one. I'll be happy to have number ones for the rest of my life here on out if we can. But it's one of those things that if it, for whatever reason, there's a song that doesn't. I don't know if you can blame that, because there's been plenty of songs that were number ones that were just life changing and they're people's favorite songs, and then there's been plenty of songs that got to 15 that were life changing and sold all kinds of records. So obviously that's something that I hope for, and that we can keep that streak going as long as possible. But I'm just all about picking great songs, and at this point, the album's done. I'm just ready to have people have it and have new music off of it.
What song from your new album do you enjoy performing the most?
I haven't been playing too many of them yet. I know we're going to add some in when we get on the Jason Aldean tour starting in July, right about the time that Neon drops. So I'm excited about that. But so far, probably save Water, Drink Beer, because we're already playing that one, and that's just kind of a cool live party song.
Right. Now, you've recently toured with both Alan Jackson and Rascal Flatts. What have you learned from those tours, as well as the artists, that you will apply to your performance this summer when you join Jason Aldean's My Kind of Party tour?
Both Alan and the Flats guys all told me the same thing, and it's obviously they on their way up opened for people, and they said, look, here's the best thing that you can do is try and win over as many fans as you can while you're out there. That's why you're here, is make an impression, make people love your music, make people love you, and want to be a fan. And with Jason, I'm only going to have that much more opportunity for that, because we'll have more time. We'll be the middle act on that tour and have about 40 to 45 minutes to get out there and really get people engaged and get them to know about the album and hear the new music.
And finally, what are your plans to celebrate the release of Neon on July 12th?
I don't know yet. We got to do something special, because this album's been in the works for a long time, and I think it's a really special album. I think it's the next step forward for me as an artist, and hopefully we'll come up with something kind of cool.
All right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to interview with us today. I certainly appreciate it, and I wish you great success with your new album.
Well, thank you so much for saying that you enjoy it, and I appreciate the time.
Great. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, bye.